The movie begins on the stunning island of Costa Rica, where two old friends, Antoine and Laurent, are starting their holiday. Antoine, a conservative father who resembles a French Dustin Hoffman, is excited to return to his family's home after years away. Laurent, the laid-back, cool dad, is just happy to be in such a beautiful place. With them are their daughters, Antoine's 17-year-old, Luna, and Laurent's 18-year-old, Mary, who also happen to be best friends. So, we have two single dads and their teenage daughters on a remote island, a perfect setup for some drama. When they arrive at Antoine's holiday house, he eagerly shows it off. But the girls are less than impressed. They complain about everything, from the boar's head in the kitchen to the lack of reception, and even a dead rat they find. Typical teenagers. Laurent, being the fun dad, tells them they should appreciate being in Corsica, young and carefree. He even dances while cleaning to lighten the mood. Meanwhile, Antoine can't quite join in the fun. Unlike Laurent, who's divorced and single, Antoine is going through a divorce but refuses to fully admit it. Antoine finds some phone reception by an old grave near the house and, oddly enough, tells his teenage daughter Luna and her friend Mary about it. Naturally, the girls head down there to use the internet. In a twist of teenage humor, they take funny photos on the grave rather than paying respect. But their brief internet session pays off. They discover a party nearby and want to go. Laurent, the cool dad, is mostly fine with it. It's the holidays after all. But Antoine, the grumpy one, isn't happy about it. After some convincing, he reluctantly agrees to let them stay out until 1:30 a.m. The girls are thrilled, but it's clear they have no intention of sticking to that curfew. As they get ready to go out, we learn about their different views on dating. Mary, the older and more practical one, just wants to meet a cute guy and have some fun. Luna, however, is a hopeless romantic, dreaming of finding someone she can love forever. Mary finds Luna's idealistic notions a bit silly and isn't shy about telling her so. Turns out the girls might have downplayed their evening plans. They tell their dads it's just a small beach gathering, and when they leave the house, they're dressed casually. However, once alone in the car, they change into club outfits, clearly prepping for a big night. Before the night kicks off, we get a cool dad moment from Laurent, as Luna tells Mary that she thinks Laurent is pretty cool, though she insists it's nothing more than that. The girls arrive at a club and seem to be enjoying themselves. Meanwhile, back home, the dads reflect on their daughters growing up. Antoine wishes his little girl would stay young forever, while Laurent accepts that they're getting older and knows it's time to have more adult conversations with them about topics like sex. However, when the girls break curfew, the dads are less philosophical. The fathers wait up for them, and when the girls finally come home, they're drunk. Instead of an awkward confrontation, the scene is played for laughs, as the girls are too wasted to care. The dads quickly get over it, and the next day, they take the girls abseiling down a small waterfall into a lagoon. Luna doesn't want to go with her father, so Laurent takes her instead. This leads to a surprisingly intimate moment between them, as Laurent cradles Luna while helping her down, and Luna seems to enjoy it. Once at the bottom, Laurent helps Mary with her wetsuit while Luna undresses on her own, not paying attention. Laurent glances over and sees Luna deliberately flash him her nipple. Not only does she flash him, but she seems to enjoy the moment, holding his gaze as she slowly gets dressed. Laurent, clearly uncomfortable, tries to ignore it. That night, while walking through town with their daughters, the girls once again try to convince their fathers to let them go out. Antoine and Laurent aren't keen on the idea of their daughters going out 2 nights in a row. However, when Antoine spots a woman he knows, a woman he has a crush on, he suddenly changes his mind. He sees it as the perfect opportunity to let the girls have fun, but only if Laurent goes with them to keep an eye on things, leaving Antoine free to ask out the woman he likes. Laurent isn't thrilled about the plan, but reluctantly agrees. When they arrive at the party, Laurent wants to leave right away, but the girls persuade him to stay for at least an hour so they can enjoy themselves. Before long, Laurent starts to enjoy the night as well when a woman his age begins to flirt with him. They hit it off and end up dancing together, while Luna and Mary find some boys to hang out with, adding to the party atmosphere. Luna becomes upset when she spots Laurent flirting with the older woman at the party. Distraught and jealous, she pretends to be more drunk than she really is and demands that Laurent leave the woman and take her home. Laurent is clearly reluctant. He doesn't want to leave, but feeling he has no other choice, he agrees. He tells Luna to grab his daughter, Mary, so they can all head back. However, Mary isn't ready to go home. In fact, she wants to sneak off to a boy's house. She convinces Luna to distract Laurent so she can slip away unnoticed. Meanwhile, Antoine is on his date with the woman he likes. Unfortunately, the conversation turns to his failed marriage, and it's clear that, despite his interest in her, he's not over his ex-wife. Back at the beach party, Laurent and Luna are on the dance floor, getting a little too comfortable. Nothing inappropriate has happened yet, but there's a growing sense that things are heading in a dangerous direction. After the party ends, Laurent, still trying to shake off his drunken state, suggests sitting down to relax by the beach. Luna, on the other hand, has different ideas. She wants to go for a late-night swim. Laurent refuses Luna's suggestion to swim, but that doesn't stop her. She starts undressing in front of him, first down to her underwear, then completely naked. Laurent, clearly uncomfortable. Luna, ignoring him, teases and flirts as she runs to the water's edge. Laurent tries to resist, but Luna's persistence wears him down. Reluctantly, he strips down to his boxers and wades into the water, which excites Luna even more. She pushes him further, trying to get him to take off his boxers. Laurent pushes her away, doing the right thing for once, and tells her she's acting crazy. Luna runs to the water and begins to cry, apologizing for her behavior and blaming it on being upset about her parents' divorce. Laurent, feeling guilty, tries to comfort her, but this only escalates things. Luna forces herself on him, straddling him while he weakly protests. Overcome by the situation, Laurent gives in. Afterward, lying together on the sand, Luna confesses her love for Laurent. It's in this moment that Laurent seems to finally grasp the gravity of what just happened. He knows he's in deep trouble, and his guilt is palpable as they return to the house. Back at the house, the situation grows even more tense. Antoine is holding a loaded gun, but not for Laurent. It's for hunting wild boars on the property. Still, the ominous scene and Laurent's guilty expression suggest things aren't going to end well for him. Even though Antoine doesn't know what happened, the atmosphere is thick with tension, and Laurent is clearly aware of the mess he's in. Things start off badly the next morning when Laurent is brushing his teeth, and Luna suddenly appears, showering him with kisses. He tells her she's crazy and needs to stop, but she seems to ignore him completely. While Antoine is oblivious to the affair happening right in front of him, Mary quickly picks up on the unusual behavior and confronts Luna about it. Later that day, the fathers are at the beach, ogling women in bikinis, with Antoine being particularly obvious. Everything changes when Luna approaches Laurent, asking him to rub sunscreen on her. He suggests she ask her father, but Antoine refuses. Reluctantly, Laurent helps her, though he clearly isn't comfortable. Luna takes it a step further by trying to slide his hand onto her, but while her father is nearby. Shocked, Laurent bolts into the water, but Luna follows him, determined to talk. As they swim, Laurent tries to distance himself, going as deep as he can, but Luna persists, confessing her love. He keeps telling her to leave him alone, while Mary watches from the shore, fully aware that something is amiss. The tension escalates further when Laurent has a fight with his daughter that night after she goes out against his wishes. Later that night, Luna sneaks into Laurent's bed while he's trying to sleep. He tries to kick her out, but she threatens to tell her father if he forces her to leave. Left with no choice, Laurent agrees to let her stay on the condition that she doesn't touch him. They both fall asleep, but Laurent wakes up the next morning in a panic when he realizes Luna is still there. He's terrified that his daughter, Mary, might come in and see them. Desperate, Laurent begs Luna to leave, but she refuses unless he admits he loves her. Cornered, Laurent tells Luna he loves her, repeating it several times just to get her to go. Luna sneaks out of the room, but Mary sees her. Realizing what's going on, Mary is furious with Luna. Luna tries to explain, but Mary isn't having it and storms off. She sleeps downstairs, but this raises questions with Antoine, who's puzzled by her behavior. When Mary responds rudely, Antoine gets angry and seeks out Laurent to discipline her, which momentarily relieves Laurent since Antoine is mad about Mary's attitude rather than the secret affair. Later, at the beach, Antoine and his daughter are trying to rent a jet ski, but neither of them have a license. Luna is upset that she can't go, but Antoine suddenly suggests that Laurent, who he assumes has a license, could take her. Distracted, Laurent confirms he does, but then realizes he's put himself in a bind. It's too late to back out, so he ends up alone with Luna out on the water. Despite his inner turmoil, Laurent is a bit too flirty with Luna while they're riding the jet ski, and they seem to be having a good time. What makes it worse is that Mary is sitting on the beach, watching the entire scene unfold, clearly upset by what she's witnessing. That night, as the group plays cards, Luna can't resist playing footsies with Laurent, even though her father is right there. Antoine, oblivious to what's happening, doesn't notice anything. However, Mary does, and she's had enough. She storms out, announcing that she's leaving for the night. Antoine follows her, leaving Laurent and Luna alone. This time, Laurent decides to finally do the right thing. As Luna tries to jump on his lap and kiss him, despite her father being in the next room, Laurent firmly stops her advances. Luna, heartbroken and humiliated, storms off in tears. She runs to her father, Antoine, and confesses that she's in love, but the man she loves has broken her heart. Antoine is initially relieved, thinking his daughter's heartbreak is a normal teenage crush. But when Luna reveals that the man is 45 years old, Antoine is outraged. Antoine, desperate to figure out who this older man is, turns to Laurent for help. He tells Laurent everything, explaining that he knows his daughter is involved with an older man. Laurent tries to calm him down, urging Antoine to leave it alone, but Antoine won't drop it. When Antoine presses Mary for answers, she plays innocent and refuses to reveal anything. Determined to find out the truth, Antoine hatches a reckless plan. He asks Laurent to take Luna out and get her drunk, hoping she'll confess the identity of the older man. Ironically, he's asking the very man who's been sleeping with his daughter to do this. Laurent tries to decline, but Antoine throws a fit, leaving Laurent with no choice but to agree. That night, Laurent takes Luna out for dinner and drinks. However, this time he manages to control himself, spending the entire evening telling Luna that their affair is over and that she must never tell her father. Luna looks upset but seems to understand, possibly realizing the danger of the situation. For a moment, it seems like Laurent might get out of this mess without Antoine finding out and doing something drastic. When they return home, they find Antoine hunting boars in the garden, frantic and wild. Laurent steps in to help, but Antoine keeps pressuring him to reveal what he learned during dinner with Luna. Laurent tries to avoid answering but eventually blurts out a name: the DJ. Antoine is convinced this is the guy, so he goes to the club, follows the DJ into the bathroom, and beats him up without letting him explain. The DJ, however, shouts that he's gay, making Antoine realize he's not the one after all. The next day, Laurent tries to apologize to his daughter for everything, but she doesn't want to hear it. His last attempt fails, and she coldly tells him something that suggests forgiveness might not come soon. Later that day, Antoine and Laurent go hunting with Antoine's friends, the tension between them still lingering. The two fathers find themselves alone in the wilderness, with Antoine still fuming about the mystery man involved with his daughter and fully armed. Laurent takes this tense moment to confess his secret. Surprisingly, instead of shooting him, Antoine tackles Laurent to the ground, and they wrestle. Soon after, we see Antoine walking out of the forest alone, telling the others that Laurent went home by himself. While the fathers don't reconcile, the daughters do. Luna apologizes to Mary for everything, and Mary, showing maturity, forgives her. She recognizes that it wasn't Luna's fault. Laurent, as the adult, should have known better. To celebrate their renewed friendship, the girls go out partying together. That night, Laurent arrives home, exhausted after walking alone through the forest. He starts packing, ready to leave, but falls asleep before finishing. In the morning, he wakes up late and rushes downstairs, where he finds Antoine sitting in silence on the front porch. The girls return home after their night out, and Luna notices the bruises on both Antoine and Laurent's faces. She asks what happened, and it seems like Antoine might confess everything, but he changes his mind. Instead, everyone exchanges smiles. Luna, Laurent, and Antoine, implying they've decided to move on. Antoine realizes his daughter is no longer a little girl, and he has to let her grow up and explore the world on her own terms. Thanks for watching.